dudes and dudettes. How are you guys? This is Chazzy and welcome back to 8-Bit Chazzy, the segment on this channel where I review the many games that I play over the years, both on and off of YouTube, and it's been an awesome time. I've done one of these. The last one was, I'm pretty sure, positively positive that it was reviewing Battlefield Bad Company, which I played here on my channel. That was probably a couple of months ago at this point, or several months, right? These videos are rare and I don't know why. You would think that somebody who does so much gaming content on YouTube would produce more, gaming related reviews, but sometimes I wait to finish a game on this channel and then I go and review it, or other times I just review one that I feel like it. But my channel follows a very strict schedule, so I can't always fit more 8-Bit Chazzies into it and whatnot. But today, that's gonna change. I'm gonna try to do these a little bit more frequently, and now I'm going to be reviewing a game that I recently finished on my channel, which is Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. And I'm gonna leave a link to the playlist right up here for you guys to watch it from the beginning, and just in case you haven't yet, right? This game adapts all 9 mainline Star Wars movies from, you guessed it, the Skywalker Saga, but there actually is additional DLC released, that involves Star Wars characters from other movies and TV shows, all that kind of stuff, right? It was released in 2022 for multiple consoles, and I played it on the Xbox One S, and the game is actually a lot of fun, especially if you're a fan of Star Wars and Legos. When I was a kid, I played with Legos quite a bit, actual real physical Legos, kids, okay? You probably don't know what that is because today all you do is play the Lego video games, right? So I always built them. I had different sets, and then I started to get into Star Wars, played the Lego games, on the PS2, then later the Xbox 360, got all the achievements and stuff. This is actually the 6th entry in the Lego Star Wars saga of video games, right? So now the graphics were very good, especially for a modern day game, and like the way that it takes the old formula of the Lego Star Wars game, the format of those games, and like it just sort of, it emulates it in a way that's both nostalgic and also very modern. There's a whole new overhaul in the design, the gameplay, the mechanics, the combat, right? The level designs are awesome. They're great. It almost feels like an open world Lego Star Wars game. There's good humor as well. The characters talk now, but you can also go into the settings and configure them to just mumble and grunt like they did in the old days, right? It's very nice. It was developed by Traveler's Tales and published by Warner Bros. Games, so I believe they are the ones who publish all of the Lego games, regardless of just Star Wars or not. So it's very nice, very fun. I had a blast, and I was able to, make just 9 gameplays of it, right? Although I could have done a lot more than that because there is way too much freaking content. That game is freaking huge, man. I don't think I will ever 100% it, I 100%ed every single Star Wars game before, except for the Clone Wars because it got a little dull, and the Force Awakens because I never actually played that one. I still don't know how they made a Lego game of just one freaking movie, but this one was a lot of fun. I will never complete it, I'm gonna leave that to Gerard, the completionist. Let him finish games like this, but I'm never let him complete games like this, because finish I already did, right? I just won't ever complete it ever. There's no way of that ever happening, but it was still a lot of fun. I really liked it, the multitude of Star Wars characters, the worlds, the ships, and everything. And I'm gonna be talking more about it, all the details and development. But before that, let's take a look at a clip here from the game.
The Force is strong in my family. My father has it. I have it. My sister has it. Leia!
Luke, I need someone to show me my place in all this.
If there is one word that I can use to sum up this entire game, it's variety. There is way too much to do, there are way too many side quests and other, side stuff to do, whether it's missions or objectives or optional things or this and that. A lot of collectibles. There are 380 playable characters that you can unlock, and they're not unlocked just like, like in the old Lego games, you have to buy them with in-game studs, and here it's the same thing, but now sometimes you have to complete certain missions or objectives, or even buy a rumor, that usually costs around 30,000 studs or so. Now, the older Lego games, you have to go through the story in a linear order. There is an actual, you got to go through the actual story and then later come back to do free play. But here you can start in whatever order you want. In any of the movies, you can start from the original trilogy or the prequel trilogy or the sequel trilogy, go in any order you want. And each game Each episode has different in-game hubs, you know, for that specific world. It almost feels like Kingdom Hearts in a way, right? So each one is thematic with what you like. Instead of the Mos Eisley Cantina or what's the other one? No, remember in the first Lego Star Wars how we were at Dex's Diner, right? So those were the main hubs where you could access the other stories. But here, each episode has its own little themed hub world, you know, that corresponds to that movie. So I thought that was really cool. Each episode has 5 main story missions, so there are a total of 45 levels in total, right? You can do them in whatever order you wish, and there are a lot of collectibles. You know, we have mini kits that were replaced by the Kyber crystals, and there are 12 freaking hundred of them. So I don't think I'm ever going to get all of those, man. It's just way too freaking much, dude. You know, I just hate it so much. The combat is a lot more fluid now, so instead of just basic lightsaber strikes and blaster fire, you can do combos, right? Light attacks, heavy attacks, and do specials, and use the force and stuff. And different characters have different abilities, so the game encourages you to explore, you know, with, you know, as many different characters as possible. So you'll come across an obstacle that you're going to need, for example, a bounty hunter or an Imperial Stormtrooper, or specifically Jar Jar Binks, or a version of Rey Skywalker that has a certain kind of tool that you need, you know, or you might need a dark side user. So it's very, very cool. I cannot deny that the game is very creative with all of the variety. There is way too much to do, especially because now when you travel to different worlds, you can actually manually fly to them in space, and then a random event might occur. You know, maybe a fleet of TIE fighters will come out of hyperspace and you have to engage them in a dogfight, right, to advance, or there might be a main objective there in space that you need to complete, or there will be a random comet that you can shoot and get a lot of studs, or even a brick, a crystal, right? So I think it's really, really nice, and the humor really plays out because the characters talk now. So there are many really cool jokes and references, right? So sometimes you'll switch between a character, you know, and there's actually this, you'll switch between a character and they'll say something witty, but there's this new mechanic where if you have 2 specific characters, you know, playing at the same time, they're going to interact in a really funny way. I think it's so awesome how that happens, man, you know? They're like for example, Kylo loves Darth Vader, so when they meet up, you know, he's like, oh my god, I'm such a big fan, I love it so much. What do I say? What do I say? And Vader's like, what do you want, kid? You know, just an example. I thought it was really nice. A lot of really good inside jokes and references and whatnot. So there is also a lot more here too. So here we go. Now, there is not a character customization tool like in the other games. However, you do have, like I said earlier, mumble mode, which you can make the characters, you know, just mumble and grunt, which I did play a little bit in that mode too, because it kind of feels like the older Lego Star Wars games, but I did give a chance for the actual dialogue too. So when I completely finished the game, you know, then I went and did a little bit of mumble mode, and it was pretty cool too. It was nice. But, you know, the Lego Star Wars games, or Lego games in general, have always been about characters not talking, just mumbling and grunting. So I don't know, but I still thought it was really cool, and there's a lot more that I'm going to say. But before that, let's take a look at another clip from the game here.
Hit the target hard, give it everything you got. Destroy the Sith. We must.
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
I need to finish what Luke started.
We go together.
Now, here's the crazy thing about the development. Even though this game was released in 2022, it was in development as early as 2017, but there were a lot of issues, you know, behind the scenes. There was problems with management and a really tight development schedule, and they were using outdated development tools, you know. So, you know, there were a lot of internal problems there, you know. The staff were going at odds with management and whatnot, you know, but they still managed to get the game finished. And what I think is really impressive is that the voice acting was actually done by the actors and actresses who portrayed the characters in the movie, so there actually is real legitimate original voice acting. So that's why I wanted to give a chance to the actual game with the acting, not just the mumble, you know. So I felt like it would suck if the actors spent all of their time recording voices that weren't even going to be heard in the game because players wanted to use mumble mode and whatnot, you know. So yes, there was also another thing that I wanted to share with you guys. They actually used the NTT engine to make, you know, this game, so it's pronounced Entity. Now, this was actually, it would eventually end up being the only game by Traveler's Tale to use this engine, you know, so it was a very impressive landmark for them as well. Now, they decided to use Unreal Engine, you know, the Unreal one, you know, going forward for the future projects. So, because apparently it was very difficult to use, you know, that's why I'm getting it from here. So, some animations would take hours to produce, you know, than they would on the old engine, so they just decided to go with something a little simpler. I'm sorry, I had to pull from the cheat sheet. That was way too technical. I was not going to be able to memorize that. So, now, what I think that the game gets right is, you know, essentially the whole Star Wars mythos, the energy, the whole magic behind it. It really captured it. However, because of the sheer variety of side quests, you know, side missions, side everything, the side content in general, right? I think that there was just way too much, because at one point you forgot that you were playing a Lego Star Wars game and it felt like more like you were playing Elden Ring or something. Like, I'm pretty sure the game is probably gonna take over 100 hours to complete all the way to 100%. There's way too much to do in each world. I love the idea that you can explore a lot of different Star Wars planets that are canonical from all 9 movies, and not even just the movies, you know, because you get to go to planets that are outside of the films and play as characters that didn't appear in the movies, you know. So, but dude, almost 400 freaking characters, you know, and there are way too many planets. There's way too much stuff to do in any order that you want. There are way too many achievements, way too many objectives, you know, and there was no online gameplay. You couldn't play co-op online, which is honestly, in my opinion, one of the best parts about the older Lego games, right? Because you could play with a friend online, you know, get some achievements and just play for fun or something, or do local couch co-ops. So I thought that the lack of a co-op mode, you know, online, just kind of hampered things a bit, you know. But there were a few technical issues too, you know, and also I don't know. However, within 2 weeks of its release, it sold 3.2 million copies or so. So I would go on to say it's actually very successful. And I love the fact that they were able to incorporate characters from all 9 mainline movies into just one huge universe. Everything felt very fluid. Everything was nice, you know. The combat was very stellar. It was really interesting to have different attacks now. Although, of course, being a Lego game, it does start to get repetitive at times, but it was still a lot of fun if you ask me. I love the way that the characters would interact with the environment in certain ways that could advance the story, but also, you know, employ more humorous moments, you know, because Lego Star Wars games are always meant to be funny and enjoyed in that way. They are not very serious, so the cutscenes were awesome. You know, the Easter eggs, you know, like if you stick around, you know, for a certain scene to play out, you're gonna see something different, you know, like when you're on Kashyyyk and then you see in episode 3 you see Sidious, you know, coming up to give the Order 66 on a hologram. If you stick around, you're gonna see him sing of some funny stuff, right? So I thought it was nice. Each world is huge, you know, like as you guys saw in my Lego Skywalker playlist, I explored as much as I could, and there are a lot of other hidden areas as well. Each planet offers a lot. That's why I think it's too overwhelming, you know, like there's too much to explore. You know, so it starts to feel like it's a little bit too much at times. It's not a bad thing. It's not bad at all. I just think it could have been toned down a little bit. You know, this is a game that's aimed at a younger audience. You know, kids are definitely gonna like it, but encouraging kids to spend countless hours collecting things and doing missions and this and that, you know, you're kind of encouraging them to become a little bit too addicted and do a little bit too much in the game. So, you know, this isn't freaking, you know, Zelda Breath of the Wild. You know, I don't want to spend, you know, hours and hours and hours and hours and hours just mindlessly collecting things like a drone, you know. So maybe next time tone it down just a little bit, right? So that's my advice for the developers if they want to heed it, you know. So the ships as well, the variety of vehicles, man, oh my god, it's amazing. You can purchase them with in-game studs and whatnot. You can unlock them in other ways, pilot them around in space, you know, fly and shoot stuff. It's really cool. The variety here, it's almost like it's every other Lego Star Wars game that came before rolled all together into one. I thought it was awesome. And before I go into the final stretch, let's take a look at another clip here of the game.
Look at this.
Great shot, kid! That was 1 in a million!
Now, an argument could be made that the game sometimes feels a little bit too childish and a tad shallow as well here and there, but it is still, when it comes to Star Wars, it still is very authentic and very genuine to the source material. And me being a huge Star Wars fan, I love playing through it, you know, and I still have it on Xbox Game Pass. I'm never going to 100% it. I have accepted that, but I still like to play it every now and again for fun, to buy characters and unlock random achievements here and there, you know. I measure my Xbox games based on a lot of things, and one of the factors is how I can get the achievements, you know. If they're too difficult, then the game kind of doesn't have too much appeal to me, because I am an achievement hunter, you know. I've always been one ever since I got my 360 back in middle school, you know. I've always loved unlocking achievements, you know. So if a game has achievements that are too hard or too convoluted or take forever, I don't really feel too much appeal. The exception being sports games, I will always play them regardless of achievements, you know. But Madden, when it comes to Madden, I like to 100% all of the games because I'm really competitive with football. So, you know, but like essentially I think it was really nice. And sure, there were way too many challenges, you know, and things to complete, and all of the collectibles and stuff. That takes forever and it's really aggravating, but at the end of the day, it's still a very fun and grounded Star Wars game. You can explore so many different planets and play as so many different characters and pilot so many different ships and complete the objectives in so many different ways. Each level has a lot of, there were some technical issues, you know, but difficulties when it launched, but I didn't really see anything. I don't recall any game-breaking glitches or bugs or anything too annoying that you know, broke the immersion. So I always have a blast playing it, so I have nothing to complain at all in terms of that. So me personally, you know, if I had to give this game a rating, it would be a very resounding, well-deserved 8 out of 10. I love this game. I love every single Lego Star Wars game I've ever played, whether it's the original, you know, the original trilogy, the complete saga, then there was the Clone Wars that I never finished, and I didn't even play you know, Force Awakens, but I would, just to get the achievements and see how it is, you know. I can't imagine one single Lego game being of just one movie, you know, but they really wanted to capitalize on the movie at the time, so that's obviously why they released it. So I think it was awesome. Really good graphics and visuals, the humor, level designs, you know, everything about it just feels so alive and so Star Wars, you know. Despite being released in the Disney era, you know, it was released a decade after Disney acquired Lucasfilm, so it wasn't very cash grabby. I thought it was very fun, and from what I saw, it doesn't really encourage a lot of microtransactions. I didn't really see a lot of those, so to me it's all good. But that's it, guys. I know that's essentially all I wanted to say. Oh yeah, there's also the thing where the characters with blasters now have an over-the-shoulder camera angle, you know, so it looks a lot better. The camera in general looks a lot more, you know, impressive now. It feels more cinematic as opposed to before where it would kind of, you know, pan away from the characters, but now it's really close up, so it feels a lot more personal. You know, the experience is always so good. And that's it, guys. That's it. Let me know in the comments below what you thought about Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, assuming you've played it. It was released for a bunch of consoles. You know, you've got the Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, you've got the PS4, PS5, Nintendo Switch, and Windows. So, you know, let me just make sure I didn't miss a single console. Nope, that's all of them. Oh, it wasn't released for, oh no, it was for Windows. So yeah. So wherever the hell you played it, let me know. You know, I really want to hear from you guys. And if you happen to like this review, please go ahead and give it a like, and also subscribe to my channel because I release videos every single day. And while you're at it, hit the notification bell too so you can know exactly what time I upload. And it's all good. It's all good. I can't believe my Star Wars content is now finally coming to an end, huh? Stick around to the community tab because I'll probably post a poll or two or a quiz, you know, the final one regarding this, and it's all good. This is Chazzy, signing out for now, and as always, I will see you guys in the next video. May the Force be with you, roll the final clip if there is one of the game, and then roll the outro screen.
Hello there.
The rebellion is reborn today, and I will not be the last Jedi.
Remember, the Force will be with you, always.